Hi, welcome to FliteTest. I'm TJ.
And I'm Josh.
And we've had a lot of people on comments, forums, wanting a review of the Q X7. So we're going to take it one step further and pretty much tell you what we like about it, what we don't like about it, what it does, how to disable the
spring.
Yeah, the spring.
By the way, yeah, they're both flippy.
And also even go into the fact of the menu system's kind of wonky. I mean, it's a
lot better than it's been.
Yeah, it's a lot better now, but it's still an intimidating factor for a lot of people. So we're going to show you how to bind it up to a model and get to fly it.
Yeah, so quick review, some functionality, how to set up, and also some mods that you're probably definitely going to want to make.
Yeah, most definitely. So we'll start off with pretty much what it does.
Yeah, we've been playing with this for a little while, well over a month now, right?
Yeah, we've had it for quite a while, and that's really the thing is we've had it, but we didn't want to just throw the review out and say this is what it is, because you know what good is that?
Yeah.
So
we took this to Florida with us. We flew the Vortex 150s with it. I got to fly, I think, one of the little Peyton poles with it.
Yeah, the Cessna Adams. We've flown everything you can think of pretty much, and for me, I really like it. So the low cost does not necessarily mean low quality.
Yeah,
and we put it through its paces. The only thing that I really can say bad about it is the USB port is on the bottom. And if you're in the simulators like I am, the port would be in your stomach, and that's not really a comfortable feeling.
And also if you want to sit on the workbench, it's going to be a little awkward there. It could cause a damage and stuff like that, cause it to tip over, fall down. Now the gimbals are not cheaper gimbals. These are the same gimbals that have come in the Taranis for a long time, the ball bearing ones, right?
Yeah, quad ball bearing gimbals. Now FreeSky has upgraded to those, to the Hall sensor gimbals, which are amazing, and they are actually coming out with a set for the Q X7.
Yeah.
So although they don't come along with them initially, the ones you get with it will last you for a few years easily.
Yeah, no problem. The resolution felt really good. It's a very comfortable radio to hold.
Yeah.
What are some key functions on it that you really like?
Really, you got 60 models right out of the box. If you have an SD card, it does not come with an SD card. If you put one in it, you can expand that. If you have a SD card, you can download the voice telemetry. And so if you have a low battery, it will actually tell you low battery. Now you have to set that up, but it's a really cool feature. If you have an X9D or somebody else that does, you've heard this or seen it in action.
Yeah. Now keep in mind one thing, this does not come with a receiver. So if you purchase this, you're gonna wanna make sure that you add a receiver wherever you get that, because they don't have any bundle packs like that right now.
Right, and it also does not come with batteries. So as the X9D came with a nickel metal hydride battery, this one doesn't. You can purchase it separately, and in our store there's just a little radio tick box. You check that and you can get the batteries.
Cool. If not, AA's, you just have to replace them when you're done. One nice thing about the AA's that I like better compared to the NiCads and the packs is if you do run low on your battery, just keep extra AA's. You're back to a full charge, you can keep on flying.
Yep, and that's actually what the batteries that we have on the store are from FreeSky.
Yeah. And
they are just a rechargeable nickel metal hydride AA battery.
Now you don't get a charger with this, do you?
No, you do not get a charger with it. The battery pack that we'll explain and show later actually removes out of the Taranis, and I believe you can charge it through that, but for me, I wouldn't really do that. I would just buy a cheap, AA battery charger and go that route.
Yep.
Better safe than sorry.
So what's your experience using the radio?
I really like it. I really do like it. The rubber on the back makes it feel a little bit bulkier. Not, well, I guess bulky is the wrong word, but it feels more solid in your hands.
Substantial.
Yeah, it feels really good in your hands. The menu system had a big upgrade with the wheel. And for the older Taranis, the push buttons work, but they're really slow. So the wheel sped up setting up models and just navigation in general.
It felt a lot more natural, especially switching from model to model. All your core functionality was kind of intuitive. I'm not really good with the old Taranis. As a matter of fact, I avoid it at all costs. With this, you gave me about 5 minutes of heads up, and I was able to take it down to Florida and have a great experience, switch out models, change some primitive settings. And once you understand what each button does and how the roller knob works, you can really navigate through this really quick. And we're even going to show you here later how to set it up on an airplane. Yeah.
So I mean, there's all kinds of stuff out there about it. We'll have a list of specs that you can go through if you want each individual thing. But you get 4 3-position switches. 2 switches here are, one is spring activated. And one is a 2-position switch, just like most radios.
And all switches are assignable.
Yeah, all switches are assignable. The actual antenna, another thing that's cool is one of the popular things about Taranis is upgrades.
Yeah.
You know, people upgrade their gimbals, they upgrade their antennas. So the antenna internally is just the is a UFL connector, I believe it's called.
Little snap thing, right?
Yeah, a little snap thing. So if you want to replace it, or if your antenna breaks, it's a really easy process.
And they also give you that additional pack on the back too that you can open this up,
Yes.
where you can put the modules in. You can put the modules in for what, Spectrum, for long range systems.
Long range systems.
You mentioned like a weird pack to take this up beyond 16 channels.
Yeah. You can actually put an expansion pack in it to make it a 32 channel radio.
That's crazy.
There's a lot of different functionalities with it, and for the price tag, it's an amazing deal. I mean, it really is.
It really does grow with you.
Yeah.
Along with that too, you also have the speaker built in. You have a vibration function, so you can set up alerts to vibrate, do things like that.
Yep.
Once again, this is like under 110 bucks.
Right. One thing we're not going to go into today is how to upgrade the firmware on your receivers using the radio, but it is a really cool function, and maybe it'll be a quick tip in the future.
Very cool. Now, fail-safe, so you do need to set up fail-safe through the receiver, correct?
Right. Well, actually through the radio, depending on which receivers you have. So if you have an X series receiver, in the menu system there's a fail-safe function to where you can either set it for pretty much no pulses, continuous. So if you have full throttle and you lose it, guess what?
Full throttle.
It's going to stay full throttle. And customize. So really, I've just no pulses is great for fail-safe. But if you're using the D series receivers, like we're going to use in our plane today, which is the MiG 3, Josh has been working hard. You actually have to set the fail-safe up through the receiver, which is just, if you have it plugged in, you push the button for less than a second. Very cool. Green light flashes twice and you're done.
And when we were flying this, a lot of times with sub $200 radios, you know, range is a big issue. Range is something that really has to concern you. We were having so much fun with this. We did not have one single range issue at all. So I think it's a really, you know, good solid link. I mean, obviously, FrSky is really known for a decent link.
Right. And the actual module in here is the same that was in the previous Taranis. Cool. So you're going to get the same range, same reliability, and it's going to be a really good option for you.
Cool. All right, so we're going to set up the plane, but one thing we don't want is two spring-loaded gimbals here.
Right.
And they do this, I guess, for a couple of reasons. One thing, if you're flying mode 1 or mode 2, it's going to be dependent on what spring you want. They probably don't want to have a bunch of mode 1 and mode 2 radios sitting around, so they put both springs. Now, if you're flying something like a vector system where you're flying where the center stick is level, this may be something perfect for you.
Right.
But most people racing quads and flying mode 2 are going to have to remove a spring on one side or the other. So you're going to show us how to do that right now. Yeah,
we're going to show you how to do it. And actually, if you order this from the store, pretty much from this point on, it's going to be mode 2. We're going to do that for you, so you don't have to worry about taking the radio apart and doing it yourself.
And you just said we. It's not FliteTest, it's you.
Well, you know, I'm part of the family. So it's just like, you know, when me and my wife do something, it's we. Even if it's me.
There you go. One great thing about TJ coming on the team is we're going to be offering a whole bunch of pre-built quads, pre-built systems, and also eventually repair. But TJ's also leading a great team of people as well. So we're going to be doing this in-house, right from your desk. Matter of fact, you did about 3 today.
6.
6 today.
6. It's been a busy day.
So that way, when you go to our store and you order, this isn't done from China. This is actually done from the FliteTest headquarters. I think you even signed a couple boxes.
Yep, sign some boxes, put some stickers in them, and send them out.
There you go. So that way you don't have to do this mod, but if you got it from someone else or you want to do this mod, we're going to show you how to do that.
Right. Alright, so now to remove the spring, whether it's mode 1 or mode 2, we're going to do mode 2. So that means our left stick needs the middle spring pretty much, I say removed, but it's not removed, it's just disengaged. So to start, we're just going to flip our radio over, remove our battery door. So it's just easy as just sliding it down, putting it to the side. And then we have 4 screws. We have 2 screws here on the top, and then 2 screws right beside our battery door. So we'll just remove those. Dump it out, lay it on the side so we don't lose it. And 2 more at the bottom. Alright, now that we have all 4 screws out, the only thing that connects the back to the front of the radio is this battery pack in the back. So just whenever you lift it off, it'll come right off. But just be careful of this little wire here. I mean, you can just leave it on, but just be sure not to pull it out. Now for mode 2, since our left stick is the one we want to disengage the spring, it's this one. You'll notice there's a little screw right here that's screwed all the way out. What we want to do is screw the screw all the way in flush, and that's going to disengage that throttle spring. Go ahead and screw it in. Now that that screw is in, our throttle moves freely. Now, however, it is completely without any kind of tension on it. So we have two bars here. You have one with a little notch and a flat one. So if you like the ratchet feel of a throttle that has the little bumps in it, the one on the inside of the radio, you want to tighten that up to get the feel that you want as far as tension goes. For me, I prefer more of a smooth throttle. So the inside bar here, I want to tighten it down just to get the right tension for how I like to fly. And the way I like it is when I put that throttle up and let go, I want it to stay. So you can see it kind of moves still. So we'll tighten it up a little bit more. Still a little moving. And now it's pretty solid. So now all we got to do is put it back together. The only thing you want to watch for when you put it back together is we have 5 pins here that are pretty long, and we have a slot in the back side here. Those pins have to go into that slot, so just be sure not to bend them. Just snaps back together. Now we put our 4 screws back in. Three and 4. Now with all 4 screws back in, you can see our throttle is in mode 2 and it stays pretty solid. Alright, now that we have our battery cover still off, we'll just leave it off.
Sure.
And what we're going to look at is if you want to use any 2 to 3 cell batteries. So this will run off of 6 to 15 volts.
You're kidding me.
No, it's
that's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, and that's what makes it nice. You can use, lithium ion, lipo, whatever you have,
yeah,
that will fit in this slot. And with that said, you can see we have a AA battery cavity right now. Mm-hmm. So this comes out. It is really tight. So to remove it, be careful. When I did it the first time, it was kind of nerve-wracking, I guess you could say. But you just want to use a flathead screwdriver or something to try to kind of give it a little motivation to get out of there. And you can see it's working itself out right now. But it's
maybe help it with a little pressure from pair, like a needle nose grabbing a non-crucial area.
Yeah.
Make sure if you're going to dig into something, dig into the piece that you're actually pulling out, not into the radio itself.
So this comes out, and all it is just a little connector. And right there you go.
Nice. That's standardized.
Yeah. So now you have a nice big cavity if you want to use any 2 or 3 cell battery. Now with us, we're going to keep this.
Yeah.
And we're going to use our Free Sky rechargeable AA batteries.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's just to show everybody how to remove it. We'll put it back in, install our batteries, and then we'll put a receiver in an airplane and bind it up. So now the first thing I would do is when I powered mine up for the first time is go through a calibration. Okay. And all that's going to do is it's going to tell the radio where the ends of the sticks are and where the ends of your pots are, which I've never used these, but let's calibrate them while we're at it. So right now it's showing throttle warning, throttle not idle. Just turn it down, and a bunch of switch warnings. We're not worried about that right now. So just exit until it comes up to the main menu. Hold the menu button down, and this will come into radio setup. Now we're going to page. And actually, so the way this menu works is there's a couple different functionalities. If you just tap the page, it's going to go through the pages forward. And which, if you look here, we have 1/9 in the top corner.
9 pages.
Yeah, so 9 pages.
Sure.
So if we want to go to page 9, instead of having to go all the way through, you hold page down, and it'll go backwards. So we'll go hold it down, and it takes us right to the calibration menu.
Beautiful.
So enter to start. With this one, enter is the big circle button on the right.
Press down on it.
Press it down. Now it says center your sticks to the midpoint. So that means there's a little plus in the middle. Take your throttle up to that. Put your pots in the center, which most of them I thought had a little indentation, but these are just smooth all the way around. So find what you think is center and leave it there.
Oh yeah, this one has an indent.
Does it? Okay, well that one.
Well, that one's smooth. This one has an indent. That's crazy.
There we go. So enter when done. So just enter. Center or move sticks and pots. So move them all the way around, all corners, and then take your pots and just go up and down with them. And then all that did was just find the endpoints, hit enter, and we're done. Nice and easy. Really simple to make it right.
Now, if you have any kind of issues with power bands, the same with like ESC calibration, always do a calibration if there's a calibration to be done. Let things be rediscovered on the ranges that they have.
Right.
Oftentimes that'll be the problem.
Yep. So now that we've calibrated our radio,
yeah.
Next thing I want to do is put a receiver in an airplane.
Sounds good. This one's going to actually be flying for the episode. We're going to make Chad paint it later.
So whenever I do these, I think TAER.
Sure.
Throttle, aileron, elevator, rudder.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing you have on your receiver is channel 1, 2, 3, 4. So you flip it up. 1 is on this side closest to me, 2, 3, and 4. Right along with the picture.
And it looks like the signal wires are to the outside?
Yep. Signal wires are on the numbers. So on the outside, and the 4 center pins are your ground. So we'll start off with throttle.
Sure.
And that would be on the top here. Signal to the outside.
Yep.
Now,
aileron is number 2.
Yep. And that is our Y harness.
I like the fact that's a very small receiver.
Yep. That's why I like them. They're good for quadcopters, but if you have a 4-channel or 3-channel plane, they're more than enough.
This one is rudder. So that's going to be over here, right?
Channel 4. Yep.
Channel 4
on the bottom.
Pin to the center on the bottom. The last one's elevator. Backwards. See, I always struggle with that. There we go.
All right, we can just leave it out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through the radio and just do the basic initial setup for this. And then we can worry about rates and things after we get it bound.
Sure.
So instead of just using the Model 1 that they come with, I want to start a new model just to show you how to go from the very beginning to the end. So if you want to do it, I'll walk you through it.
Walk me through it?
Yep. So just exit out. Just going to make sure you're on the main menu. Hit the middle button, which is your menu button. Oh, exit out. Just tap the menu button. Go down to number 2. So use your wheel. Hold it in. Or actually, there you go.
Create model.
Yep, create a model. All right, page. 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 We just want to make sure page until you see inputs. There you go. So right here you can see throttle, aileron, elevator, and rudder. So we've plugged them in according to this right now.
But if we want to change it, all we need to do is just simply scroll over and we can actually change what we want if we had to.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep. So now we can just exit and go back into your menu. Just touch it one time. Page once. So right here on the very top, this is where you can name it whatever you want to name it. So it's as easy as just pushing your big wheel button. It'll highlight it and you can turn it to whatever you want. So if you find your M, hold it down and it will capitalize the M.
Ha, nice. All right.
Just scroll through and make whatever you want.
And I bet you if we go this other way, let's see, do I have to go through the whole game?
You got to go all the way through to find the numbers.
3.
There you go. Now when you're done typing,
all right,
just press exit one time. And that'll bring you back out, so now you can scroll on down.
So the exit works to take you out of the page, but also to back you up one level.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, backs you up one level. So if you go into anything, it'll bring you back one level.
Great.
So now scroll on down. There's all kinds of different timers, and you can set up, exactly, just a timer for while you're flying.
Name, that's weird.
Yep, you set the timer name.
Oh, okay.
It's the system that these are on is so intuitive that you can set up
if you can
so
read,
much
you can
stuff.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scroll on down. We're going to bind it up real quick. Keep on going. There's a lot of timers.
I was going to say, but they really like their timers. I should start using those someday.
Yeah. There's so
checklist,
much stuff.
holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah, so right here, T warning, that's your throttle warning.
Okay.
So that means when we turn a radio on, if our throttle's not 0, it's going to yell at us and say, hey, your throttle's not 0. Your S warning, that's your switch warning. So that means if you have an arm switch and you have that arm switch down for off and it's up, when you turn your radio on, if it's not down, it's
switch warning.
Yeah, it's going to tell you.
Very good.
Keep on going down. Yep. All right, so here we go. So internal RF, internal radio frequency.
Okay.
I believe. Mode. So since we're using a D series receiver, we want mode D8.
D8. So I'm just going to touch it.
Yep. Touch it and turn it until you see D8. There you go. Channel range 1 to 8. Receiver B and D. That is bind. Yep. Just click it and it's going to start making noise. It's going to beep for us.
Okay.
There he goes. So now in order to bind this, always helps you have two people.
Yes, it does.
On your receiver, there's a little button. You want to hold this button down. So we held the bind button down, plugged in the battery. You have a solid green light and red light flashing. Sure, we're bound.
That's it?
Yep, that's it. So we hit exit once to make it be quiet. And unplug your battery. If you plug your battery back in, we can test it.
That's a ridiculously fast bound.
So now everything should work. Okay.
Nice.
Let's check our surfaces.
All right.
So right here,
Backwards. That's correct. And our elevator is correct.
Okay.
So what do you say we go ahead and do some reversing first?
Yep.
Okay.
Which is easy. So right now, if you want to exit back out to your main menu.
All right, so I'll just hit exit once.
Yep. Actually, exit all the way out. We'll just show from the start to the finish.
So this is not a reverse things.
Yeah. So you hit the center button, page. Now you're going to page all the way until you see servos, I believe it is. They change the names occasionally. Outputs. That's it. Oh, you went one too far. Hold it down. There you go.
There we go.
Good job. So now our aileron was channel 2. And if you want to check that, go to channel 2. And right here at the top, you can see your numbers moving.
You can, what is that, pulse width?
Yes.
PWM
Yep.
signal?
So now to change it, you have different values here. So the first value, so yep, push it. Oh, hang on one second. Tap it one time. Edit. Go down, you have your sub trim, your minimum endpoint, your maximum endpoint,
Beautiful.
direction. Yep. Invert.
Done.
Easy enough.
So this is pretty hefty on the throws. I wanted it to be about 16 degrees. So is this where I can actually go and I can adjust the min and max throws?
You can if you want it to be only like that.
Okay.
If you want to set flight modes to where you can have 3 different flight modes.
Okay, like dual rates.
Yeah, dual rates. It's probably a 5-minute process.
Okay.
You walk through that.
Very good. Well, let's go ahead and we'll just leave this as it is.
Okay.
We'll just adjust this to dual rates. Let's go ahead and hit the rudder real quick because that rudder, we don't want that rubbing.
Okay.
So we'll go. I'm guessing exit once, exit again.
That's backing you up.
And now I'm going to go to channel 3.
Channel 4.
Channel 4. That's right. Go and click edit. This is intuitive. So now, how do I tell which one this is? Just guess.
Yep. So this will be your left. So left is low, right is high, unless you reverse it. Keep on turning there.
There it goes.
Is it moving?
Wow, that has a lot of function. There we go.
There you go.
Wow, what a fine adjustment. All right, so that's about. Want to make sure it doesn't ground out. This slide.
Yep.
You
So
can go down
do
one
the
more.
other. Yep.
Perfect. No rubby now. Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. And the elevator we can adjust with dual rates. That's perfect.
All right. So you want to add dual rates to it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a little bit more in depth for this part, but if you're like us and you like to fly planes, this is a really good thing to know.
Yeah.
So when we fly planes, we like to have multiple rates and expos.
Yeah, what rates and expos are is rates is how much deflection your controls have. Expos how soft the center of your stick is. So it exponentially increases the rate as you move your stick, which makes it really nice for fast airplanes to fly smooth, but also give you maneuverability.
Right, and so on the older Taranis, the X9D, it's actually really simple to set it up through flight modes and global variables. Now, when I was looking at this, global variables isn't an option. So that made me kind of sad. And if you know an easier way to go through this and actually set up multiple flight modes with global variables or something, let us know in the comments. But with that said, we're going to do it the way we know how to do it, which is still not that hard.
It's not as cool.
But it's just not as cool. So we'll go through it real quick. Start off, go in the menu, which is your center button, and we're going to page over until we see mixer. So mixer, and what we're going to do is our aileron, elevator, and rudder needs to be on a switch. All right, so for us, what we're going to do is our initial rate is going to be 100% with 30% expo. So we'll start with the aileron, hold down your button, hit edit. And to start off, we'll change the curve from diff to expo. Push it down again and change it to 30. And that's just meaning 30%. And acknowledge. Now we're going to scroll down to switch. Now to change the switch, you just push it, it'll start flashing, and you select the switch you want. So for us, since this is going to be technically high rate, we want this switch to be up. So we're just going to flip it down and then flip it back up. So you got SA up. Push it down to lock it in, and we can exit out. So right now, if we flip the switch down, you can see that 100 is not highlighted. So that means it's not selected. 100 is highlighted. So now to add another one, we'll just do a low rate. Hold it down. Go down to insert after. And all that did is it created another aileron. We'll change our weight to, what do you think, 70?
Yeah, 70 sounds good.
And just keep the expo at 30. So 70, acknowledge, scroll down, change diff to expo. And what do you think, 30?
Mm-hmm. So the nice thing with the previous way with global variables, that would actually give you rules that you could select for any model you want, right?
Right. So instead of having to change weight to 70, I could just change weight to GV1.
And it would just give you the parameters.
Yeah, and it would take that number, whatever GV1 is, and input it there. So if the switch was up, it would select GV1 if that's flight mode 1. And it's a really intuitive thing.
Almost like profiles. It's pretty cool.
Right. So now on switch, we want this to be low. So we'll click it, it'll start flashing. Drop our switch to SA1 or SA down, and we can just exit back out. So right now, if you look, we have 100 and 70. 70 is highlighted because SA is down, SA goes up, and it's
back
100.
to 70.
Yeah, so it just goes back and forth.
Oh, I see, yeah.
And, if you want to make any amount of profiles, and, if you have 100%, 80%, 70, 60, all the way down the line, you can just keep adding them in. And it's just a repeated process. Same thing, edit, drop down, change expo to 30. That's one thing I like about this wheel is it's so much faster.
Yeah, normally you'd be going beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, and then switch, since this is our high rate, we'll go up, exit, hold it down, insert after, 70, 30, so drop this down to 70. So
if you wanted to do a 3-position switch, you could literally do it 2 insert afters, selected one as a middle switch, right?
Yep, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. You've never done this, but you've already grasped the concept.
Yeah. At least it builds on itself.
Yeah, and it's still a great thing. So now if you look, 70 and 70 is highlighted, 100 and 100 is highlighted.
Well, that took y'all 20 seconds.
Yeah, and we'll do it one more time. So it's not as fun as the other Taranis, but you still accomplish the same thing. And for all I know, there's an easier way to do it.
Yeah, it seems like with Taranis, there's lots of different ways to do the same function. So, like you said, if you guys have anything else and any quicker techniques, post them down below, post links, tell us how you do it because we want to share that with the community.
There you go. So high is 100, all the way down to 70.
Love it.
And one more thing we'll go page over to special functions. And so let's say if I'm all the way down, I want it to, since we don't have an SD card in here and I haven't loaded the voice pack, we can make it beep. So what we'll do is you go in here, select just any one of these lines. So we'll push this one and just pick a switch. So we'll say down, SA down. Push it again, go over. Now that would say, so you got override whatever channel, trainer, just scroll through. And what we're gonna do is we'll find play sound. Select it, scroll over, and we can just find, we'll go warning 1. Go over again. This is gonna say either how often you want it to do it. So every second, every 2 seconds, what we want is just when we flip the switch. So we'll leave that blank. And same thing, we'll go down one more, high. Scroll to play a sound. Now if you had your voice pack, if you go to play a track, you could actually make it say a sentence or a word. So, low rates, high rates, just whatever the pack has. So we'll just, again, sound 1. And let's change it a little bit. There we go.
Ooh, I like it. Low and high beeps.
Yeah, so you got low tones for low rate, high tones for high rate.
Love it. Now this even has the ability to vibrate too, right?
Yeah. So you can set up vibrations. It's a really intuitive setup. So now we have a plane. It's bound to our radio. We have low rates and high rates, and we could go fly.
Next step is put the prop on and have some fun. TJ, I can't thank you enough. It's really cool. This has a lot of functionality, but it's still very affordable.
Yeah, for a very first radio, it's kind of, I want to say a no-brainer, but it kind of is.
Yeah, it has a lot of functionality. You're going to have a little bit of a learning curve. Yeah. One thing we really love about Spectrum is how easy and versatile it is, but it's very simple.
Right.
This has a lot of powerful features, but you're going to have to take your time and learn it. And hopefully as we do more videos in the future, build videos, things like that, we're going to be showing you even more functionality on how this radio works.
Yep, and one thing about it is if you want the binding flies that are very out there, everybody's got binding flies, Spectrum is probably better for you to go that route.
Yes. But if you're looking to race quads, things like that, this could be a very good opportunity. And also for planes with advanced functions, you know, delayed flaps, things like that, this is a really great radio to jump into. Yeah, and it's, you know, don't be intimidated by it. It may look kind of crazy at first, but just breathe. Yeah. Take your time, go one page at a time, and you'll be fine. You can read it, you can program it. Friends, we want to thank you for watching. We're going to be getting this MiG-3 up in the air and actually flying the episode with it. Look for that episode coming soon. If you don't want to miss it, make sure you subscribe. And if you guys are interested in the FrSky Q X7, you can see the link down below available at our store. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.